Today I'm going to introduce to you my F125 mod, all the liveries for this upcoming series to the channel. First of all, little disclaimer about the liveries that you would have seen in the intro and of course throughout this video. They use the 2024 sashi. You may have seen other F125 mods out there that use the FOM sashi. Obviously with the FOM sashi you have a lot more availability to place stuff and a lot more customization options, but all 10 car shapes look exactly the same, which, you know, obviously for some people it's the little details. So yes, in this series I've put it on the 2024 sashi, but obviously that comes with its own limitations, which I shall explain throughout each livery. Starting with the Sauber. Now, this car I put as much neon green on as possible. Everything else is carbon fibre on this car, and to be honest, it looks, in my opinion, looks better than what they actually did, because, well, as I said, they sneezed on it. I've even included the annoying state logo with that terrible white background as well. That they seem to be doing these days, but then of course they're banned in Britain these days, so we only have to see them at half the races anyway. Yes, to be honest, I'm counting the days until we don't have to see this livery, and hopefully Audi produces a banger. If they don't, you know, after producing two stinkers in a row, then, you know. Anyway, that's about liveries. The livery itself, not too bad, and there's not been too many sponsor changes for them as well, so only a few Joe sponsors really gone out, but overall I think it looks better than what the real life version. Williams, another one that I personally think that I've made an improvement. What I've done here is I've chosen one colour that sort of matches the lighter blue on the Williams and just literally pasted it everywhere. As well, but in my opinion it looks better than the original. Also, sorry, the real life version also doesn't have, because there is no sponsor slot for it on the 24 sashi, the massive gopping Atlassian logo that's on the engine cover. None of that here. Looks a lot better. Yes, Atlassian would probably swap with Komatsu, but Komatsu, they've copied the same logo that's on the rear tailgate that's on the side there. So yeah, in my opinion, an improvement on the real life version. However, that's when the improvements stop for now, because we've got the the Racing Bull Toro Rosso car. And yeah, I did have a little attempt at trying to get the yellow behind the bull. It's not easy because the bull is not together on the Red Bull livery, and also on the RB livery, the RB paint file, and also trying to get the yellow on the front wing as well was just never going to happen as well. What I have done though, it's not a bad livery in my opinion. Yes, I can see the Cash App logo in the middle. I haven't just quite decided what I'm going to do with that, because it's the same logo that's on the front, I believe. So that is a little bit something that I do need to think about, try and fix in time for the next video as well. But overall, despite not having the yellow on it, I actually quite like what I've done with this livery. Another one that's probably not going to be as good as real life is Haas. Yes, nothing I can really do to try and divide the side pod with the rear wing Haas logo as well. And there's not a lot I can do because the paint file is just 4 pop blobs on it. So I've removed the black and replaced it with the white to sort of resemble what more of the car has done in 2025. Yeah, and changed a few of the sponsors, but overall not a huge change. As well, the numbers have also gone to, changed the numbers to red. I can't quite remember, I don't think they're red in real life, but I think changing them here, because obviously they'd clash with the front wing otherwise, to red, and I think actually there's a bit of an improvement here, but only on the driver numbers. You might want to skip forward now, because I've made the Alpine worse. I didn't think it was possible to be worse, but it is. It's disgusting. I do apologise what I've done to this livery, but I mean, this is as close as I can get it to real life. There's a load of issues as well with the paint blending in, not correctly, not worse than real life. The ENI logo as well, that's not something I can control. That's due to sponsor copying, where the game places as one logo and places it multiple places around the car. Yeah, disgusting livery. Let's get probably even worse than the Sauber in this mod. Let's get it off your screens. And instead replace it with the Aston Martin. Now, there's not been a huge amount of change to this car. In actual fact, I haven't even touched the paint livery, paint file for this car, and there's a reason for that, because the paint file on this livery is actually just 2 pixels, so I can't actually do anything about it. So I can't incorporate the black side pod onto this sashi as well. There's not been too many changes at all really to this livery. There's a few new sponsors and but they haven't had really a big change overall. I mean, the biggest change for Aston Martin over the winter is Adrian Newey coming in. They've not really had too many. They've had a few minor sponsors, but not too many big sponsor changes over the winter. Now, Mercedes, this particular livery is Ineos free Mercedes, because although they're still there on the car due to sponsor copying of the CrowdStrike logo, which is on the rear wing. So yeah, I've also had to put this in red, as you can see. Top of the just to the air intakes, it's in. There's a black background, but on the rear wing it's a silver background. I could play around with it and change it up so it's just a white logo as well, but then that would mean there wasn't a silver rear wing. Kind of disappointed with Mercedes, because they had such a good livery a few years ago as well, and these last year's and this year's liveries are very bland as well, and that's there's going to be a lot of challenges come F125 for modders to try and hide that bland air intake. Easiest one of them all though has to be the Red Bull, because they haven't changed their livery since 2022. They've only changed the sponsor placements. I do hope that come 2026 we do get a new livery and it's a banger, because I'm bored of seeing the same livery over and over again. One thing to note is that AT&T have returned to the car. They haven't been on the Red Bull since 2020, since before Perez, because obviously Perez has Claro and Telcel as his personal sponsors that were on the car since he joined, but obviously Perez has departed over the winter as well. But yeah, overall not too many changes. Bybit's gone, it's replaced by another terrible sponsor as well. Obviously you'll notice that it's not perfect, because they've got one password in the place where it's the gate IO between the 2 red lines there on the side. That's just, again, sponsor copying, nothing I can really do about that. Yeah, overall, I'm fed up with this, fed up with how boring seeing the same livery again and again. So we'll switch to the Ferrari, and load of changes here. Now, the colour of the car, first of all, I'm not entirely sure it's the right colour. Obviously they have gone for a deeper red. This particular car was actually in the game files itself. So I should explain. Most of the cars, not all of them, but most of them have 2 paint files, a C and a D paint file. Yeah, don't ask me why they bother doing this every year, but this was actually the colour on the C paint file that wasn't really being used, so I've just replaced this with this. Obviously I've gone with the white lines as well. Sadly, HP haven't listened to the fans, and therefore we're stuck with the blue that stands out like a sore thumb really as well. Also got Unicredit as well on the car to replace Santander. As well, you notice there slightly lighter red. Yeah, doesn't quite blend in properly, I don't think. But I think that's what they've done in real life. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. as well. But overall, I'm just happy to see a different looking car compared to the Red Bull and compared to the next car. Because McLaren, like Red Bull, have decided that they're going to take last year's car and do nothing with it. Yeah, few sponsor changes of them as well. I'm worried that we're going to have a blank rear wing come F125 because the Velo.com logo is there as well. Amongst a few others, that is going to be a problem on some other cars as well. But overall, it's just the same livery really, with very minor sponsor changes. The most of the changes are on the rear wing, actually, at the back of the rear wing really. Not a few other minor sponsor changes, but other than that, it's just last year's car really. So yes, those are the liveries that we're going to be taking part in my F125 mod upcoming series. The first episode of this series where we actually drive the cars, that will be out next week. At Australia, we'll be doing a last to first challenge as Lewis Hamilton as well. If you've got any ideas of stuff you want to see, last to question mark challenges, not to last to first challenges, excuse me, last to question mark challenges, I've already got a particular game experiment crossover as well planned with the F2 performance as well. So that'll be coming probably after the first 3 races, so we get an overall position of who's the slowest overall, or past the first 2 possibly, because we've had the sprint in China as well, forgetting about that. But yeah, also let me know which is your favourite livery that I've designed in the comments below. If you are new around here, then please subscribe for weekly Formula 1 content to see plenty more F125 mod videos as and when they come out. Until the next video then, I'll see you next time. Take care, thanks so much for watching, enjoy your day, and goodbye.